Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a great Monday. So, I'm coming to you from the Hageman Memorial Library. My name is Cynthia. I'm the Community Services Librarian, and I'd like to share with you some new adult fiction that we have available this February at the library. So, I will share that with you now. We have some great materials that I'm sure you would enjoy reading. Right. Okay. So, here's our new fiction, new and featured fiction available at the library for February 2024. The first book I'd like to tell you about is called The Last Love Note by Emma Gray, just in time for Valentine's Day. Kate is a bit of a mess. 2 years after losing her young husband, Cameron, she's grieving, solo parenting, working like mad at her university fundraising job, always dropping the ball, and yet clinging to her sense of humor. Lurching from one comedic crisis to the next, she also navigates an overbearing mom and a Tinder obsessed best friend who's determined to matchmake Kate with her hot new neighbor. With an in flight When an in flight problem leaves Kate and her boss, Hugh, stranded for a weekend on the east coast of Australia, she finally has a chance away from her son to really process her grief and see what's right in front of her. Can she let go of the love of her life and risk her heart a second time? When it becomes clear that Hugh is hiding a secret, Kate turns to the trail of scribbled notes she once used to hold her life together. The first note captured her heart. Will the last note set it free? The last love note will make readers laugh, cry, and renew their faith in the resilience of the human heart and in love itself. That's called The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. The next book I'd like to talk to you about is called Someone Else's Bucket List by Amy Matthews. Jody Boyd is a shy and anxious 20 something, completely unsure what to do with her life. Her older sister, Bree, is an adventurous, globe-trotting, hugely successful Instagram influencer with more than 1 million followers. She's the most alive person Jody knows, up until Bree's unfathomable, untimely death from leukemia. The Boyds are devastated, not to mention overwhelmed with medical debt. But Bree thought of everything. And soon, Jody is shocked by a new post on her sister's Instagram feed. The first of many Bree recorded in secret. The post foretells a jaw-dropping challenge for Jody to complete Bree's very public bucket list, from fly over Antarctica to perform a walk-on cameo in a Broadway musical. If Jody does it and keeps all Bree's followers, a corporate sponsor will pay off the staggering medical debt. If she gains followers, the Boyds won't be the only ones to benefit. It's crazy, it's terrifying, it's impossible, immoral even, to refuse. So despite the whole world watching, Jody plunges in, never imagining that in death, her sister will teach her how to live, and that the last item on the list, fall in love, may just prove to be the easiest. And that's called Someone Else's Bucket List by Amy Matthews. And the next book is called The Museum of Ordinary People, and that's by Mike Gale. Still reeling from the sudden death of her mother, Jess is about to do the hardest thing she's ever done: empty her childhood home so that it can be sold. As she sorts through a lifetime of memories, everything comes to a halt when she comes across something she just can't part with: an old set of encyclopedias. To the world, the books are outdated and ready to be recycled. To Jess, they represent love and the future that her mother always wanted her to have. In the process of finding the books a new home, Jess discovers an unusual archive of letters, photographs, and curious housed in a warehouse and known as the Museum of Ordinary People. Irresistibly drawn, she becomes the museum's unofficial custodian, along with the warehouse's mysterious owner. As they delve into the history of objects in their care, they not only unravel heart-stirring stories that span generations and continents, but also unearth long-buried secrets that lie closer to home. Inspired by an abandoned box of mementos, The Museum of Ordinary People is a poignant novel about memory and loss, the things we leave behind, and the future we create for ourselves. The Museum of Ordinary People by Mike Gale. The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. In July of 1962, a family from Nova Scotia arrives in Maine to pick blueberries for the summer. Weeks later, 4-year-old Ruthie, the family's youngest child, vanishes. She is last seen by her 6-year-old brother Joe, sitting on a favorite rock at the edge of a berry field. Joe will remain distraught by his sister's disappearance for years to come. In Maine, a young girl named Norma grows up as the only child of an affluent family. Her father is emotionally distant, her mother frustratingly overprotective. Norma is often troubled by recurring dreams and visions that seem more like memories than imagination. As she grows older, Norma slowly comes to realize there's something her parents aren't telling her. Unwilling to abandon her intuition, she will spend decades trying to uncover this family secret. For readers of The Vanishing Half and Woman of Light, this show-stopping debut by a vibrant new voice in fiction is a riveting novel about the search for truth, a shadow of trauma, and the persistence of love across time. That's called The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. The New Naturals by Gabrielle Bump. An abandoned restaurant on a hill off the highway in western Massachusetts doesn't look like much, but to Rio, a young woman bereft after the loss of her newborn child, this hill becomes more than a safe haven. It becomes a place to start over. She convinces her husband to help her construct a society underground, somewhere safe, somewhere everyone can feel loved, wanted, and accepted, where the children learn actual history, where everyone has an equal shot. She locates a benefactor, and soon their utopia begins to take shape. Two unhoused men hear about it and immediately begin their journey by bus from Chicago to get there. A young and disillusioned journalist stumbles upon it and wants in, and a former soccer player, having lost his footing in society, is persuaded to check it out as well. But no matter how much these people all yearn for meaning and a sanctuary from the existential dread of life above the surface, what happens if this new society can't actually work? What then? From one of the most exciting new literary voices out there, The New Naturals is fresh and deeply perceptive, capturing the absurdity of life in the 21st century. In this remarkable feat of imagination, Gabrielle Bump shows us that ultimately it is our love for and connection to each other that will save us. That's called The New Naturals by Gabrielle Bump. The Ocean and the Stars by Mark Helprin. A Navy captain near the end of a decorated career, Stephen Rensselaer is disciplined, intelligent, and determined to always do what's right. In defending the development of a new variant of warship, he makes an enemy of the President of the United States, who assigns him to command the doomed line's only prototype, Athena, Patrol Coastal 15, with the intent to humiliate a man who should have been an admiral. Rather than resign, Rensselaer takes the new assignment in stride. And while supervising Athena's fitting out in New Orleans, he encounters a brilliant lawyer, Katie Farrar, with whom he falls in last chance love. Soon thereafter, he's deployed on a mission that subjects his integrity, morality, and skill to the ultimate test and ensures that Athena will live forever in the annals of the Navy. As in the Odyssey, Katie is the force that keeps him alive and the beacon that lights the way home through 7 battles, mutiny, and court-martial. In classic literary form, an enthralling new novel that extols the virtues of living by the laws of conscience. decency, and sacrifice. The Oceans and the Stars is nothing short of a masterpiece. That's The Oceans and the Stars, and that's by Mark Halperin. The next book is called The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. This title is available in our large print collection. When Ruby McTavish Callahan Woodward Miller When Ruby McTavish Callahan Woodward Miller Kenmore dies, she's not only North Carolina's richest woman, she's also its most notorious. The victim of a famous kidnapping as a child and a widow 4 times over, Ruby ruled the teeny town of Tavistock from Ashby House, her family's estate high in the Blue Ridge Mountains. But in the aftermath of her death, her adopted son Camden wants little to do with the house or the money, and even less to do with the surviving McTavishes. Instead, he rejects his inheritance, settling into a normal life as an English teacher in Colorado and marrying Jules, a woman just as eager to escape her own messy past. 10 years later, his uncle's death pulls Cam and Jules back into the family fold at Ashby House. Its views are just as stunning as ever, its rooms just as elegant, but the legacy of Ruby is inescapable. As Ashby House tightens its grip on Jules and Camden, questions about the infamous heiress come to light. Was there any truth to the persistent rumors following her disappearance as a girl? And what really happened to those four husbands who all died under mysterious circumstances? And why did she adopt Cam in the first place? Soon Jules and Cam realize that an inheritance can entail far more than what's written in a will, and that the bounds of family stretch far beyond the grave. That's called The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. And thank you very much for tuning in. Please consider following us on social media for more recommendations and Hageman Library goodness. Our handles are Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter /X are at Hageman Library. Instagram and Threads is at Hageman_East Haven. To check out any of our new and featured fiction, please visit us either in person or online at hagemanlibrary.org and take a chance on a blind date with a book located in our upper rotunda, and you have a chance to win some prizes. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you all have a safe evening and day tomorrow. We are expecting a snowstorm tomorrow, so I hope everyone stays safe. And I look forward to start speaking with you next month about some new releases for March, which is coming up fast. So have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.